Still people joining, but we'll get started because this is recorded anyway. So if any of your colleagues talk to you, say they wish they could have joined, if they registered, there is a recording. We'll also put the recording on the knowledge base after. There's a space called webinar recordings where we put all of these. And today, this is just one of our usual product updates. We're going to take you through a few things. We're going to take you through root causes and the changes we've made to those, and also CSAT satisfaction surveys that we've also made some changes to, and then some other little bits and pieces as well. So I have here with us Valentina, as usual, and Valentina is going to take you through the changes that we've made to root causes. I'm going to share my screen.
So root causes, if you are on the professional plan, I believe, you can define which reasons you want to give for somebody getting a specific rating. Until now, root causes were always only available for negative ratings. If you wanted to navigate somewhere, Chris, maybe could go to settings. Otherwise, that's where we can see the root causes. So until now, you could only define root causes for negative categories. And why would you want to do that? Because sometimes you already know that there is 1, 2, or 3 different reasons for why you would give somebody, for example, a negative score on solution. So here we have agent didn't understand the customer problem, agent lacked product knowledge. These are like 2 typical reasons as to why you would give a negative score on solution. So and this is how it was until now, only to do it for negative ratings. And then you were able to add like free space reason if you have another reason for giving a negative score that is not included in the already preset reasons. Those can be interesting if you are just figuring out what are the where you would want to help agents to improve. So the 2 big changes that we have done is, 1, reviewers can select more than 1 reason as a root cause. And that was a request that we got from a lot of customers. So basically it's your fault that you can now make your statistics even more complicated. So you can say, okay, the agent didn't understand the customer problems and they had no idea what they were talking about. So that person definitely needs some training. Or you can say, okay, the agent didn't understand the custom problem and I also want to write down a custom reason for this. The other change that we did is that you can also now show the root causes for all ratings and not just for the negative ratings. And maybe we can look at how this now looks in the scorecard, then it's a little bit easier to understand. So we are navigating to the scorecard. And if you give a thumbs down or a thumbs up, you now see that you can select a reason for the rating. The reason is optional. You can choose 1 or 2. If you click other, you can put in a manual reason, which can then maybe, if always the same reason is written down in other, you may want to convert this into a regular reason. And this helps you to keep your scorecard clean and simple, because you can basically create subcategories or sub-reasons to your categories that you have on the scorecard. Keep in mind that when you have this activated for all ratings, you will see the same options under both on the positive or on the negative rating. So don't give a positive rating and then say the person did a bad job in terms of the reasons for rating. In our experience, reasons for good ratings are usually not as insightful. So think about what you're trying to achieve when you're using root causes. Like, what is the purpose that you're using it for? And how, like, which reasons would you want to give in terms of positive that you wouldn't want to put into the comment box? Maybe you need statistics for that, and that is a very good reason to use them. But think about it, like, what is it, what you're going to do with the results and how you're going to use them, and then set up the scorecard so that it actually supports what you're trying to achieve with those root causes. Yeah. Did I skip anything?
No, I think I'd just add that a lot of people that I spoke to, they asked to be able to give not only negative ones, but like the middle one. So if you've got a 3-point system, to be able to add a root cause when there's 2 out of 3, because the agent has still dropped points, so there's still somewhere to go. So I think something to add. So I think this is where it's most useful if you want to add for like 4 out of 5, 3 out of 5.
And I love the reasons here for they use the cat pun and they use the cat gif. This is great reasons to shout out somebody. There's never enough cat puns.
Agreed. All right, thank you, Valentina. I'll move on to some changes that we made to the CSAT survey. So mainly in the CSAT dashboard, which you can see up here, dashboards and CSAT. The first thing I'll mention, though, is that we now have in-app support for this survey for Intercom. So if there's anybody here who uses Intercom, like we do as well, you can now add that into the chats. So before it was sent by email, and if you're using Zendesk or Customer, Help Scout, the others, it will still send an email to the customer after. For Intercom now, it's when you close it in Intercom, it can trigger within the actual chat. And what we've seen internally is a massive increase in the amount of surveys we're receiving. So we've seen it go from 30 to 60% into response rate, which is amazing. I never thought we'd get to that. So that is available for Intercom already. Next up is Zendesk. In the near future, we will also enable this for Zendesk Chat, and then we'll also work on some others as well.
And something that is important from a branding perspective, if you have personalized your Intercom chat, colors, etc., the CSAT survey will inherit these settings. So it looks very, very seamless within your chat. Like there is no moment where your customer will be like, where did this come from now?
Yep, absolutely. I'd love to show you, but then I would show all of our customer data, so I can't. But there is a knowledge base article about this. If you don't know, there's a question mark in the in-app. You can go to knowledge base here and look for satisfaction surveys. There's a knowledge base article that shows you how to set it up with Intercom, what it looks like. And then for those Zendesk users or users of other platforms, then just watch this space for the same thing for you. We also added a few things to the dashboard. So I'll just quickly go over the dashboard again, just in case you haven't seen it. With the CSAT dashboard, we bring in the scores. And we bring in scores if you're using Klaus surveys or if you're using like the Zendesk surveys, Intercom surveys as well. So if we're integrated with it, we can also bring that CSAT data in. So you can see an overview of your CSAT scores broken down. You can see the response rate as well. So how many surveys were sent, how many responses you got, how many comments you got. You can see your CSAT over time, so the quantity of responses, and also how the CSAT changed from day to day, week to week, month to month. And you can compare that with your IQS score as well. And the new thing we've added, which is available on professional and advanced plans, is some insights into CSAT trends by a few different things. So channel, for example, you can see how you're scoring per channel. So if you can compare, if you have chat and email support, for example, you can see what the difference is. So you'll see that possibly chat has a much better CSAT score. So you might want to concentrate more on that in future, for example. You can also report by conversation source. So if you've connected two things, you might have connected Aircall and Zendesk to Klaus. You can see which one has the better CSAT score. You can see by help desk tags. So if you're tagging tickets, maybe you see your tag tickets with VIP, for example, you'd be able to see what the CSAT trends are for those specific tickets. You can also go by CSAT reasons. So these are the reasons that customers can leave as well. So when they give a negative feedback, they can leave a reason why they gave it. And then also the predicted CSAT drivers. This is something that we've started adding. And you will see this, don't have an example in this account, but you'll see this in the last table. Basically, we will look at the CSAT comment and we have an algorithm which identifies what kind of CSAT comment, what that was. So was it a complaint? Was it praise? Was it praise for fast response? So you will see these here, and then you'll be able to report by them as well, see what the trends are for each of those CSAT drivers that we're adding automatically. This is all also visible in the knowledge base article I referred you to earlier. You'll also be able to see CSAT by users, so a breakdown of what your users have achieved and how that's changed and how that compares to IQS. And then you will see all the responses here on the bottom as well, and the tickets on the right hand side. So they are the changes that we've made to CSAT. The last thing I will show you is just a really small change, but can be useful. If you have created a filter or selected a filter that doesn't have a date range selected for it, you will now be able to choose it here. So this filter already does, because it says last 30 days. But if you have a filter here, like I made one earlier called negative sentiment, which is simply the sentiment is negative. So this is another algorithm we have. We're looking for negative sentiment, but I didn't put a time range on that. So I might, instead of having to go back here each time and edit, okay, I want to see it for last week, I want to see it for last month, for the last 30 days, I can now change it here if no time range has been defined in the filter already. So I can change this to negative sentiment in the last 30 days, and that will show me the results. All right, so that's it. Pretty quick update, but some small useful things, I think. So if you have any questions, please ask
now. Is the time.
Yeah, you can go to our chat on the right-hand side, and we'll hang around here for
3 minutes.
As long as it takes a few minutes, yeah, to see. We'll make some small talk while you post your questions.
How does anyone know how long dog babies sleep per day, or am I just a very boring person and that's why she's sleeping all the time?
That's great small talk. Krista says most of the day. Yeah, my dog's 14 years old and he sleeps
most of the day.
20 hours a day, maybe. I have to wake him up in the morning. No. Yeah, not many questions on any questions on the root causes, and then a lot of people were asking about that. So I hope that is helpful to you. Catatonic.
Now we have successfully talked only about dogs on a Klaus call. I feel very subversive.
I never know when there's no questions. I never know if it's a good or a bad thing. Let's say it's good.
We've been very clear and explained everything very, very holistically.
Let's go with that one. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, but I'll just add that root causes, I always tell people that I think it's one of the best things that we have, and it's something you should definitely use in the right way, as Valentina says. But getting that extra layer of insight into your categories makes it easier to solve the problems. And also using the predefined options, would always recommend using the predefined options as much as possible, so you get numbers. And the example I always use is the thing in English that only native speakers actually seem to make this mistake. There, and there. If your agent has, 20 negative ratings for grammar in a month, and you can see it's because of that rule, root causes will show that's the problem, and that allows you to pinpoint and change that easily. If you do it with other and writing out comments, you'll have to go through that to understand what the.
Now, if you use other can be a very, very good option when you're starting out and you don't know what the root causes would be. In that case, you'd only leave other and then analyze at the end of the month which are the types of reasons that people gave, and see if you can group them together so that you then have your predefined reason and can dig deeper.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Borislav asks about choosing the scorecard. That is true. It's come up a few times. So if you choose the scorecard, you submit the review. You can't then just edit and change the scorecard. I think it's because they can have completely different categories.
Yes.
So you would have to delete the review and redo it, because sometimes it might be similar, but sometimes it might be completely different. So the review is different. I think that's the case. If you want to talk about this more, Borislav, you can go to our live chat. I'll be there. And we can chat about this in a bit more detail if you wish.
What is better to use, subcategories or root causes? This is a good question. And think about it. Depends a little bit how many categories you have, because every category is a decision. And human brains don't really enjoy decisions very much. That's why decision fatigue is a thing. So if you only have 3 categories, you can probably get away with subcategories. However, if you have, let's say, 7 categories or more, using root causes adds a layer on complexity that comes up only when needed, because you can, for example, only activate root causes for negative sentiment, for negative reasons. So if somebody does like thumbs up, or a happy face, they don't have to make another decision about what the root cause is, which means it like really reduces the complexity. So it depends a little bit about what you're trying to achieve and how complex your scorecard already is. But like if you want somebody to review your scorecard, let us know, get on chat. We are happy to like review what you have and basically see if there's something that you can optimize.
Yep.
Root causes are always optional.
Yeah, I don't think you're forced to actually choose one.
No, you can. If you don't want to choose one, you can not choose any.
I'll double check that. I think you just have to select other. Actually, you do have to select something. We can select other, and now there's also the comment we've written as a default other there. So if you don't actually need to type anything in there, just leave it as it is to other.
Yes, you can send your scorecard to the support team, and they probably will forward it to me, and then we can review it. Yeah.
Yeah, it goes to me, and then I'll go wash my hands of
Valentina, you opened this floodgate. There you go.
Yeah.
No, but
if you want to talk more about theoretical things like we do on these calls, like we can help with that in the support. So it's not just technical issues that we solve. I think on this call, the last question, Nori from Egypt. Do you want to talk to us directly about that in the support channel? We'll go over that. Creating a filter with a negative sentiment. We'll have to check that it's enabled for you as well, that you have access to it, and then it's pretty straightforward.
Looking at myself on the video as I'm basically stroking the dog, I look like one of those villains from James Bond that have like the white cat and are like constantly petting the cat. Okay, then our 3 minutes are over.
Yeah, that's pretty quick. If there's any last questions, please put them in there. Just drop the article to the sentiment filter there as well, due to the last question. If you want to check that, that's where it is in the chat. All right. Yep. Well, thank you very much. You will all receive a recording of this straight after. If you have any questions, please get in touch via the live chat, and we'll talk to you there. Okay.
Yep.
All right. Thank you, everyone.
Bye, everyone.
Have a nice rest of your day.